You know, when it comes down to doing live action adaptations of popular animated films, casting the right actors and actresses is a key element, because you not only want the characters to look like the source material they're adapted from, but you want them to embody those characters as much as humanly possible. And well, I think Universal did a pretty damn good job with How to Train Your Dragon, at least mostly. You've got Gerard Butler reprising his role of Stoic the Vast, you've got Nick Frost as Gobber the Belch, you've got Mason Thames as Hiccup Horrendous, and then you got Nico Parker as Astrid Hofferson. Wild choice on that one.
One of these things is not like the other.
Now you're probably thinking, oh great, another right-wing content creator that's rage-baiting people into being mad that a fictional Viking girl is mixed instead of white. Nope, and as a matter of fact, that's the only time I'm going to bring up her ethnicity, because overall, it's pretty unimportant. What is important though is her wooden performance, which is the worst thing about the film as a whole, but I'll get into that shortly. You can bet your sweet ass I will. Quickly moving through this, y'all know the rules by now. Any and all videos are open discussions. I won't be holding or deleting any comments, just attack the opinion, not the person, and I'll be down in the comment section talking it out with y'all, even if you disagree with what I have to say. I'd also much appreciate a like on the video because it helps us smaller content creators get noticed. And if you're new around here, consider subscribing if you like unfiltered, uncensored criticism of the utter shit the entertainment industry is putting out nowadays. How to Train Your Dragon. Let's talk about it.
Whoa. Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
So, quick plot synopsis. How to Train Your Dragon has us following along with Hiccup, the son of the Viking chieftain Stoic on the island of Berk, which a large community of dragon-hating Vikings call home. Why do they hate dragons? Well, they're constantly setting shit on fire, stealing their livestock, and killing people, one of which was Hiccup's mother. Desperate to gain his father's respect and avenge his mother's death, Hiccup employs a prototype weapon to bring down the highly mysterious Night Fury, hitting one during a dragon raid and grounding it on a nearby island. Upon seeing his downed opponent, Hiccup realizes that he's not cut out for this whole dragon killing business and chooses to befriend the Night Fury, calling him Toothless because he doesn't have any teeth. Is that he does? Okay, whatever. Well, Hiccup and Toothless become the best of pals, and after creating an aid to fix his tail, Hiccup begins learning how to fly atop the dragon, along the way teaching his community that dragons are nothing to fear and that they can all coexist peacefully together. That's it. That's the dumbed-down synopsis of this film.
Gentlemen, you had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
The very clear standout here is Mason Thames as Hiccup, and you might actually recognize him from another Universal film, as he portrays Finney from the now Black Phone franchise. Seriously, guys, we didn't need a second one. You had the first film. It was brilliant. Could have just left it there. Anyway, you can tell Mason did his homework here and has a deep care and understanding for the animated film. As a matter of fact, just to note this, while trying to find footage for this video that isn't copyright protected because Universal's a bunch of peckerheads when it comes down to that kind of stuff, I ran into what you're looking at now. The cast of the film went to go check out the island of Berk at Universal's Epic Universe. I think this is kind of important because look at Mason's interactions with everything around him. The toothless animatronic, the character, the environment. You can tell he truly loves this source material and all the characters within it.
I can't believe any of this. I'm trying so hard not to cry.
Which definitely plays into his performance in the film. He's pretty damn charismatic, despite Hiccup himself being timid and withdrawn, and his connection with Toothless is the main selling point. I don't think I've ever said the following statement, but I'm going to stand by it. I think Mason Thames does a better job with the character than the actual animated version.
What did he say?
Yes, you heard that correctly. I actually said that a live-action actor did it better than the animated source material. What a day and age we live in, dear viewers. However, as Newton once told us, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And in this case, the opposite reaction is Nico Parker, and her performance is Astrid.
Oh boy. Here we go.
There's no doubt her casting was a controversial one, and rightfully so, but seeing as this is a live adaptation of a fictional animated world, I guess I can see where the producers were coming from if she gives the performance of a lifetime. Except she doesn't. She comes across as an arrogant, egotistical dickhead for no other reason than the plot tells us she is, which, sure, is in the animated film as well, But when you take away the charm of colorful animation and invite the realism of the live world, you gotta bring some on-screen presence and range with you. Parker does not. She has some moments of likability, I guess, but for the most part, she's pretty wooden, not even capable of establishing chemistry with Thames himself, who's giving it his all in every scene they're in. See Hiccup and Astrid go from not liking one another in the slightest to getting into a relationship of sorts by the end of the film, but the emotional dynamic never changes. Parker does a shit job of trying to convince us that she's in love with Hiccup. What I'm trying to say here is she doesn't come off as a complimentary piece in Hiccup's adventure and attempt to change the social norms surrounding dragons like she does in the animated film. Instead, she comes off as yet another insufferable girl boss that's good at everything.
Oh, come on!
How to Train Your Dragon is a lot of fun though, despite being a bit long in the tooth, pun intended or not intended, whichever one is funnier. The animated film clocks in at a lean hour and a half, which is a perfect runtime for the ADHD-riddled children of this generation, but the live-action version tacks on another half hour, and I don't think it needed to. Hiccup's training montage, some of the conversations with the rest of the crew, and the flying segments could have been trimmed down ever so slightly, and there wouldn't have been much loss of value. The CGI is pretty damn good too. The dragons themselves have quite a bit of personality, and the practical sets and on-site filming blended well with the digitally created elements. The only thing I regret, and I regret it. I regret not seeing Gerard Butler going back to his 300 roots and Spartan kicking a dragon down a fucking hole or something. That would have been awesome.
This is Sparta!
This begs the question though. We happy?
We happy?
Yeah, we happy.
Yeah, actually, I'm happy. I think this is one of the better, if not the best, live-action adaptations we've ever gotten. Outside of Nico Parker and whatever the fuck she's doing on screen, there was obviously a lot of love and care that went into putting this on the big screen. And even if this kind of film isn't your thing, you've got to appreciate that, considering, other live adaptations we've gotten this year.
Whistle while you work.
You need to shut the fuck up!
Anyway, I appreciate y'all for checking out my review. I'll talk to y'all later.